The Life of Prophet Muhammad for Children. Medina Days. Selim and Zehra went out for a walk with their grandmother and grandfather in the redness of a cool and beautiful day. They would take a walk for a while. Zehra and Selim were very happy. The sky was slowly being painted with orange, pink and purple colors, and the sun was slowly disappearing among these colors. His grandparents had decided to tell the rest of the story during the walk. Grandma began the story. Lastly, we told you that the Prophet and his companions moved to Medina. The Muslims who came from Mecca did not have a house to live in, nor a job to work in. Therefore, the Muslims of Medina were declared brothers with the Muslims from Mecca. Everyone chose a sibling to host and work within their home. So they began to live together as brothers. The Muslims of Medina were called Ansar, and the Muslims of Mecca were called Muhajirs. They were very happy, weren't they? Selim asked. At that time, his grandfather was obsessed with a bird on the tree standing in front of him. With this question, he turned to his grandson again. His grandmother answered the question in no time. Yes, the people living in Medina were very happy, both Muslims and others. Not only Muslims, but also people of different faiths lived in Medina. In a place where so many different people lived together, some rules had to be established. Our Lord did the same. He set the rules that everyone can accept it. This is also called the Medina contract. The bad people in Mecca could never accept this situation, so they prepared a large army and set out for Medina. So what did the Muslims do? Zehra asked curiously. The Muslims also prepared an army. The two armies fought in the place called Badr. The Muslims defeated the Meccans in this war. The Meccans arrived a year later with a larger army. The Muslims again prepared an army and began to fight next to a huge mountain called Uhud. Muslims almost won this war as well. However, when a group of soldiers who thought that they had won the war and did not listen to the word of the Prophet, they got into a difficult situation when they moved away from where they were. Selim and Zehra continued to listen with curiosity. Later, the Meccans worked hard and prepared a large army. This time, the army was very, very large. The Lord and his companions had gathered to decide what to do. There was a companion named Salman Farisi. By the way, you know what a companion means, don't you? We call their friends who live with or see our Prophet as companions. This companion lived in another country before, so he came up with an interesting idea. If they dug a huge trench around Medina until the Meccan army arrived, they could protect Medina from that huge army. Did they accept the offer? Said Selim. Yes, they did. When the Meccan army came and saw these trenches, they were stunned. They tried very hard to cross the huge ditches, but they could not do it. The Muslims had won the war thanks to these trenches. Although the Meccans were so powerful, they had to make peace with the Muslims when they lost. Since the peace agreement was made in a place called Hudaybiyyah, it was called by that name. While they did not allow Muslims to enter the Kaaba before, with this agreement, they allowed them to visit the Kaaba a year later. Hooray! Selim and Zehra applauded with their hands. After the Battle of the Trench, the strength of the Muslims increased even more. The Prophet began to write letters and send envoys to different countries in order to explain Islam. Some countries accepted Islam while others did not, but everyone had learned about Muslims and Islam. No matter how hard the Muslims faced, they never gave up. They had fought for his religion by taking strength from Allah. Zehra said, "How beautiful," and looked very happy. Yes, our master never gave up. He always tried. We should be the same. But look, we've already come to the shore of the sea. Let's sit and have a rest and then go back to our home." "Our story ends for now," said Grandma, and they sat at the nearest place.